Added into the mix this week was Quebec's pharmacies, Montreal's pharmacies, when it comes to delivering the COVID-19 vaccine. We're going to speak to Quebec's pharmacists in just a few short moments and talk about how they're aiding the effort and, a whole bunch of things that come up with vaccinations in pharmacies. Got a text message here from a listener, by the way, who did go and get vaccinated. Bravo to you, sir or ma'am. I don't have a name here. I got the shot. The whole process takes about half an hour, including 15 minutes of recovery. There are 5 stages. They're very thorough. They're very professional. They have you keep your Medicare card in your hand as it's required at the first 4 stages. So more rave reviews about the process and just how easy it is once you get to a vaccination site. Now, I still haven't heard from anyone who got the vaccine in a pharmacy. If that's you, by the way, if you didn't go to Palais de Congrès or Bob Burney, or to Carey Square, if you went to a pharmacy and got your vaccination this week, do let me know, 514-800. Now let's find out more from the pharmacists themselves. Of course, this week they started to give out the jabs. How are they raising awareness about the vaccine? And how are they assuring that vaccine doses don't go to waste? With more on this, we go to Jean Bourcier, Executive Vice President and CEO of the AQPP. I assume that represents the pharmacists here in Quebec, right, Jean?
Yeah, the Pharmacists-Owners of the province of Quebec, actually, yeah.
Lovely, Jean. So what can you tell us about this week, the first 3 days here of pharmacies chipping in Montreal for the vaccines?
Well, first of all, this week is a week to take appointments. So pharmacists actually haven't started vaccinating. They will start vaccinating next week. So I'm surprised. I'm curious to see if you'll get email or text messages saying, well, I got my vaccine in the pharmacy, because I would be very surprised. Just tell me.
Jean, I have gotten the text messages saying exactly what you just said. They just sent me the same thing, so it's good to know. That's right.
No problem. So basically, this week we opened the different time frame for appointments in pharmacies. Actually, 80% of the pharmacies of Montreal Island are participating to the first phase of this first round of vaccination in pharmacy. But I have to admit that most of the appointments have been booked in a very, very short time, because we just have access to 100 doses per pharmacy. So basically, we're talking about 36,000 doses for all the pharmacies, or most of the pharmacies of Montreal Island. So the booking was very, very easy and very, very quick. So probably if some of the people online are wondering, well, I'm trying to get an appointment in pharmacy, I cannot get one, it's because it's already totally booked.
Now, Jean, I live downtown, so I'm very fortunate. When I went to Click Santé just to test, obviously I'm not 65, but just to test the site, where I live downtown, I had 26 pharmacies within 3 kilometers of me that were going to be administering the vaccine as of next week. But then, we have listeners all around, right? All around the island. And, I did a search with a postal code in the West Island, and everything was booked, unlike the ones downtown. So everything was booked. It was very limited, and there weren't a lot of pharmacies. The list of pharmacies was a lot less. So could you just tell me about adding more pharmacies? Will that keep happening?
Well, the one problem we're having, Elias, is that it's because the application is limiting. When you enter your postal code, you're seeing the pharmacies located in 3 kilometers from your postal code. So West Island it's a large area where sometimes pharmacies are a bit further. So basically, we ask the application to be able to change that for 5 kilometers or 8 kilometers for a patient to get access, a view on more pharmacies. That's an important factor here, and I appreciate that you're asking that question. That told me to clarify that. That doesn't mean that there's not that many pharmacies. It just means that the number of kilometers around your postal code is too low. It's not large enough. So that creates a problem.
So Jean, like if I live in St. Anne de Bellevue, I should maybe think about putting a postal code in Dorval just to get a list of other pharmacies, and that's okay. You're allowed. You don't have to live in the exact postal code.
No, you're right.
So okay, gotcha.
You're right. Actually, you can get if you live in the West Island and you're on Montreal Island, you're eligible to 65 or older. You can go and get vaccinated in Pointe aux Trembles, for example. It's not necessarily a problem. The problem is to get access to an appointment. That's truly the problem. because of the limited number of doses that we will receive later on this week.
We're with Jean Bourcier, Executive Vice President and CEO of the Quebec Association of Pharmacist-Owners. Jean, let's talk about awareness and what role you expect your pharmacies to play in raising awareness. Will there be signs up? Will there be a campaign to say, hey, everyone, you're in the Pharmaprix or the Uniprix or the Jean Couture or the independent pharmacist to pick up, shampoo, but get your vaccine as well?
Well, that's an excellent question. I mean, first of all, let's put it in a context. Pharmacists are, and it was in the survey this week, pharmacists are highly appreciated by the population. They trust, people trust their pharmacists. And pharmacists have a close relationship with a lot of their patients. So actually, the level of awareness will be there once the pharmacist will tell directly to the patient, hey, Madame Tremblay, have you been vaccinated? Mr. Smith, it's quite your turn now. Do you have an appointment? You should get an appointment ASAP. It's important to get vaccinated. So the first line of communication pharmacists has to say is providing a direct interaction with their patient and telling them, hey, you have to get vaccinated. It's your turn. Book an appointment. I don't have an appointment for you, or yes, I have an appointment for you. The second thing is the pharmacists are capable to print, to get some list of patients per age category. So theoretically speaking, and a lot of pharmacists have done that actually, is that, okay, I will look at which of my clients haven't been vaccinated yet. And for 65 and over, do I have doses that I can administer now? Do I have appointments that I can book with these patients? So it's possible for us to go in patients' file and produce lists of patients and look at the possibility to call them directly and tell them, hey, it's your turn, get vaccinated. So there's many ways. It's very obvious also that there'll be information right on site. But the best information, I would say, is the direct interaction between the patient and the pharmacist.
Jean, I have a question about making sure doses don't get wasted. I imagine in a mass vaccination site, you just got volume, got a lot of people showing up. My worry is, let's say at one pharmacy, you said they're going to receive 100 doses a week. Let's say at the end of the day, you've opened up a vial and there's 2 doses left in the vial. Maybe somebody doesn't show up for their appointment. How are the pharmacies, what have they been told about ensuring that no doses get wasted?
It's very important that we don't lose any doses. That's one of our priorities. So basically, we told the pharmacy, create lists of people that are eligible, that you can call, and that they are in your immediate surrounding area. That if you call, you know that they will be able to come, or at least there is probability they will come. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we will not overbook, but with this list, if we see during the day that there is a couple of no-show, immediately we will use that list, meaning that we will not wait at the last minute to use that list and call potential patients. So you will imagine that we have sort of a waiting list in pharmacies right now because there was such a limited number of time frame to book an appointment. So people are on the list. Call me when you will have more appointments. Mm-hmm. Call me if someone doesn't show up for the vaccination. So basically the list is already there, and pharmacists have been told don't wait till the last minute to call patients on these lists. Call them immediately. In the worst case scenario, where, and I will take a very extreme example, where you have your last vaccination at 8:30 at night, and now that the couvre-feu is not there anymore, at 8:30 at night, and the patient doesn't show up, well, you go in your pharmacy, you look at your clientele on the floor at your lab, and you try to catch, let's say it that way, the patient which is the most appropriate to vaccinate. But I don't feel that it will happen very often.
Well, but Jean, what you just told us there, that is really important news, and it shows you just how much you've thought through this process. That's great news to hear that you even have a plan in place for a scenario like that. Jean, we got to leave it there. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Jean Bourcier is Executive Vice President and CEO of the Quebec Association of Pharmacists-Owners.